Hello, and welcome to the second session of our Gauntlet Comics Monsterhearts 2 game. We are playing. We've had a little bit of a break for I was at Origins last week, and we're taking it with our characters tonight. Last time, we met our characters. We saw what their classroom was like a little bit. We got introductions. We got those characters' relationships established. And we saw them in school. We saw how they related to other characters. And then we saw an incident which went badly, a drill, which caused a lot of chaos and injuries and so on. And then we saw a little bit of the fallout from that. Part of the fallout being that everyone is, at this point, either definitely going or obliged to go to the Sadie Hawkins dance / lock-in Friday night, the night of the full moon, at the school. And they're going to have a speaker, a superhero speaker in overnight as well. So that is something that is on the table. So I want to check in with each of our characters, see where they are emotionally, get a general sense of that briefly first, and maybe a summary of who they are, the quick elevator pitch on that. And then I want to do a home scene with each of these characters before we move on. So let's start with Jesse Hart. Stephen, tell us again quickly who Jesse, and I'm going to use air quotes, Jesse is, and what she's feeling right now.
Okay. Jessie is the ghost playbook. She is the psychic projection of a teen who is in a coma in the hospital after a drunk driving accident, except that she's not actually who everyone thinks she is. She's the driver of the car. Jessie was the passenger, who has been projecting Jessie's body out of some form of guilt, and at this point, she doesn't actually know how to change it. So she has been posing as Jessie to Jessie's parents, and who knows what will happen when they find out. And incidentally, her real body recently died, which kind of threw her for a bit of the loop. And in the last session, she was mortified when she asked Toby to the Sadie Hawkins dance, and Toby laughed out loud in front of the entire class. So she is now going with Drake, aka the Knight, who will be introducing himself shortly. But that was mostly a face-saving gesture.
And so she fell down into that basement. We saw a little bit of that. But she was able to cover that up thanks to the intercession of Winter, right?
Right.
Okay.
And Winter sort of has her a bit under his thumb, as is true for the entirety of the class.
Excellent. All right. Well, that gives me a sense. When I come back to you, I'm going to ask you to dial us into a home scene. I'm going to work across the character sheet here. Drake, give us that bullet pitch on Drake and what Drake's feeling right now.
So Drake is using the Ghoul playbook. His hunger is for justice. Justice empowers him and makes him stronger and a little bit more resistant to damage. And he saw the drill and reacted. At the time, Jesse was being embarrassed by Toby, and he reacted to that, and then the drill occurred, and he reacted poorly. So he attacked and hurt pretty badly some of the people, and was sent to the office, and suspension was talked about. His foster mother was brought in, and there was a lot of issues there. However, I think the session ended with him agreeing to apologize and to go to the dance, and he explained to his foster mother that he was trying to defend someone and that maybe she just wouldn't understand, something like that. And then the woman he was trying to defend, then Jesse comes up, and his mother becomes very excited seeing this process, and and seeing, oh, you're taking her to the dance. Let's look at what kind of clothes you're going to wear and all that kind of stuff. His emotional state is, I think that he feels a little bit resigned that he was trying to serve justice. However, it was misunderstood, which is common. Um, I think deep down he's really scared about what's going to happen with his foster parents. Are they going to kick him out again? Is he going to go to another home? What's going to happen at the dance? It's not something he's very comfortable with, but he, you know, stiffens his spine and says, "No, I'm going to deal with this, and I'll be fine." Trying to
Okay.
present a good outward appearance.
Excellent. We'll see if we can't crack that. We'll work on that. Which brings us to Winter.
Yeah, so Winter Lattimore, not his real last name, is a recent student at the school. He's actually in witness protection because his mother was a infamous cult leader who had a bit of a doomsday cult built up around her. She had an almost supernatural ability to convince people to do whatever that she wanted. And Winter was ostensibly put into foster care to protect from his mother's influences and also from like any revenge families of the cult members might have tried to take against him, but he couldn't just lay low. So he's finagling for a position on the school's student council, where he has actually the low-key support of Principal Total Ben, who has some unfortunate prejudices that Winter has absolutely no problem taking advantage of. And in the last episode, I noticed that being the queen, I have a little bit of a clique that I've already formed around me. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed that there is some relations happening within my clique that I don't approve of. And so I must do everything in my power to split them up, which involves, nefarious machinations about who's going with who to the Sadie Hawkins dance. During the drill that was so fraught, I happened to also convince everyone that Jessie, air quotes, just happened to slip away with the rest of my group, even though there was an unfortunate incident where she fell through the floor. So I do have her a little bit under my thumb, as it was put. I also happen to know her true identity, so that's a little tidbit as well. And basically, yeah, Winter's goals are to cement power in his new school and see what he can do with that.
Excellent. And certainly you got a number of strings that you generated last time that we will play with. Which brings us to Katerina. Where is Katerina at?
Katerina Brahma she's a werewolf raised by vampires out in the suburbs. Pretty sheltered life. She's lived most of her childhood being told, like, don't be seen, don't tell anyone what you are, don't let anyone know. But she still has like problems with anger. In the last episode, she accidentally tore a man's throat. Maybe, I don't think he died, but it was
accidentally.
Accidentally.
Yeah. Okay.
And then one of her aunts sort of handled all the office things. Like, she wasn't called in and didn't have to deal with any of that, but it was impressed upon her that her aunt was very disapproving and she should go live in the woods in a shack like a werewolf. And then she ran away and found a pile of skin in that old slot garden. The son of another werewolf.
Absolutely. So let's go. I'm going to go in that same order. I want to see to do a home scene. Jesse, you've described your family home as being, generally very, very suburban, kind of together. Tell me something about that.
Well, it's not really suburban. It is in the city,
Okay.
but it's a decent townhouse on a fairly quiet street. The family's doing reasonably well. They've got a decent amount of money. I'm not the kind of girl who would normally be sent to a school like this, but I did have that trauma. They thought it would be best to get me away from my former classmates who were talking.
Yeah, they moved you across town to get over to here, right? I think we'd established that last time. You're a ways away.
Yeah, I have to take the bus to get to school.
What are your parents? And again, I will do air quotes here,
Yes.
and then I'll stop doing air quotes. What are your parents' names?
Oh, let's see. Did I?
I didn't see them in the
Right.
sheet, so I didn't.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't. So I think I came up with names, but I have completely forgotten them.
Sure.
So let's say Mike and Jill.
And when you're at home, what is the thing maybe we see on screen that shows the tension that's in them, the nervousness? Because they know things are slightly weird, but they try to hide that. So where do we see the strain on them?
I think like whenever a bill comes in from the hospital or any paperwork, it's like they shove it aside, and it's like they just try not to deal with it.
You're still trying to avoid that. So we've got, maybe that's poured over into other things, that we've got bills and things that they go through and pick them up and put them in the office and hide them away. So do you want to do a scene that evening? Do you want to do a scene that later that morning? What would you like for us to look at here within your household?
I think they're going to try to get me to go shopping for a dress. Like my plan is basically wear my nice pair of jeans and a clean t-shirt. But they seem to think that a greater level of formality is called for.
And Jill comes and knocks on your door and is like, Jesse, sweetie, Jesse.
Yeah, Mom.
I was thinking, it's just we're just a couple of days away from the dance. I was thinking maybe we could go over. We could go to Catherine's, or we could go to TJ Maxx or something. Maybe take a look. I got some coupons that came. Some max dollars. Maybe we could go and do that right now before it gets too late.
It's not really like that fancy a dress, fancy a dance, Mom. It's not like homecoming or anything. It's just a dance.
Yeah, but you haven't done that this much, and this is the first chance since. And she kind of trails off. And she goes, so I really mean it. We haven't had a chance to go out and shop, you and I together. Let's go do this. I'll get the credit card from your dad, and we'll go do that.
I think Jesse gives in.
Okay.
It's all right, but nothing. I mean, nothing frilly.
No, no,
No,
no.
no, no. I mean, I don't want like some super fancy gown. That's
Oh, okay, but can we maybe not go with black?
black is my color, Mom.
It's not so much a color as it is a statement. Maybe just, I mean, how about we look? We don't have to do anything like super bright, but maybe like a gray.
Well, maybe a dark gray.
Or a dark blue.
All right. We'll look.
And she will go and she will drag you out to TJ Maxx. Do you think this is something you enjoy?
Not really. I think Laura and Jesse sort of had different taste in clothes slightly, and that's one of the things that she is trying to hide that from her mom. So this is clothes shopping always feels awkward because she doesn't entirely know what Jesse would like, so she's sort of afraid to express opinions.
What is the moment? Oh, actually, let me do this. Your mom comes over and she has this like sequined T-shirt with this like Care Bear on it with these weird sequins on it, and she holds it up and she looks at you. And she looks at you with that look of like, this is a joke that you and she share and have shared for years, like a mother-daughter joke. And she holds it up like she's waiting for you to respond.
Yeah, and I have no idea. I couldn't even name all the Care Bears. So it's like, I'm not a kid anymore, Mom.
I think you want to shut her down, huh?
Yeah, sounds like it.
Mom trying to reach back to the little girl that she knew, things they used to go shopping with, and now. So go ahead and roll with cold.
That's 8 minus 1 is 7.
7. So you get to choose one from the shut someone down, but they're going to give you a condition in return. So what do you want to do? Do you think you're trying to give them a condition to dissuade them?
Yeah, I think I'll give them a condition. Give her a condition.
What do you want to call that?
Let's say estranged. It's like she feels like she's not as close to her daughter as she should be.
So she genuinely like she's kind of like it's almost like a physical blow to her when you say that, and she's like, oh, she'll go and put that back. But it's yet another sign that this could crack at any time. And I think I want to give you a paranoid condition. Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mortified paranoid ghost. What could go wrong?
Yes, everything. And I love it. Let's come to Drake. Drake, you get home that evening. Your foster father is there. Your mom kind of intercepts him and has a convo with him. and he kind of avoids you the rest of the time there. Like, he's mad, but he's been told not to yell at you. And so he like goes and takes his food to go and watch YouTube in his office. And your older sister Shannon seems more amused than anything. So what would we do for your evening scene? Is it here in the house? Is it with your sister? Is it you hitting the streets?
Oh, that's a good question. So actually, I think it starts here in the house, and then I leave, and I start hitting the streets. So in the house, I think it starts with me in my room, and the door is closed, and I hear an argument between Sheila and my foster father, Kyle. And, I think he's like, but he has to learn his lesson. And I'm in my room kind of doing push-ups and then sit-ups. And every once in a while, I'll catch a snippet, and I'll stop that, in mid sit-up and listen. And I know Sheila's defending me and saying, I think that, he's gaining ties and that kind of stuff. And then I think after listening to that for a little while, things quiet down, and that's whenever he goes to his window and he pulls it open.
Okay.
And he slips out. He keeps his outfit and appearance and equipment off-site. So he goes for a little jog and then swaps out to his armor and equipment and mask and starts looking for crimes.
And these are petty crimes. This
Yes.
is you hitting the streets. Petty crimes. So let's give you a petty crime that has some problematic aspects to it. So you are out, and you are kind of casing places. I assume like the 7-Elevens and things like that. You probably got binoculars and stuff to kind of keep an eye.
And I head to the bad part of town.
Oh yeah.
And specifically places where there might be gangs or there might be groups of offending youth.
Well, you'll be checking out one of these 7-Elevens because they're a great spot for kids to hang out. And you will see this kid come out, and he kind of pulls out from under his jacket a couple of bottles of malt liquor that he's managed to stash tuck away in there, and kind of hoofs it a little ways on foot. And you will see it's Chad.
And Chad is one of Winter's, is that correct?
Yeah, and he's clearly just shoplifted the most accessible and most disgusting alcohol that he could find.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, no, there's schnapps in there, so probably that's not the most disgusting.
So I'm going to follow Chad for a period of time until I feel like I can confront him.
So where would you? What is a confrontation? What is a spot? He's heading back to a little bit better part. Kind of hit the 7-Eleven here because it's a little bit downwind from his area.
Mm-hmm. So this would be, him going through a park or going through an alley or something like that. Let's say he's going through a park headed back towards.
He's cutting across the corner of that big park that's in the center that we talked about. That big overgrown area. Mm-hmm. That seems comfortable to him. Like he trusts that this area will take care of him. And he's cutting across there, and he walks across like the pea gravel that's on the ground. And we've got the swings around there, and maybe one of those merry-go-rounds. There's a really crappy duck pond that they've had to drain because it was a bacterial infection last year. And the smell of that is just still carrying. And he's like maybe he's gonna squat down at one of these picnic tables and have a drink. So what do you do?
So I think that he looks back up whenever he hears the pea gravel crunch under my feet. And as I approach him, he kind of looks for a second. And, I don't say much. I think I say, illegal activity will be punished. And then I grab a bottle and smash him with it.
All right, let's have you lash out physically.
Yes. Ooh, that is volatile.
Yes,
That is a 6.
that is a 6.
Yeah.
So you grab that from him.
Oh, wait. I get a +1 whenever I'm going after a hunger.
Okay.
Yes, so that is a 7.
That is a 7. So on a 7 and 9, you harm them. So you bring this down over Chad's head. The bottle breaks, cuts into him. His spray with malt liquor, and the jagged edge of it cuts across his forehead. But then you have to, on a 7 and 9, you harm them, but you need to choose one.
Okay. Ooh. So I kind of like. So let's do the darkest self.
Okay.
I like how that goes. So the darkest self, I just read that, is basically I can't focus on anything else other than feeding. So other than pursuing justice. In addition to my particular cravings, I recognize something else, that the hunger, which connects to all hungers, you escape your darkest self once you've overindulged or you've been locked out for long enough to regain composure. So I think the way this darkest self would look, from my perspective, is like a rampage of what would seem like a string of muggings, but it's the muggers who are getting mugged, right? So I think that there's this whole series of violent actions that end up happening that the police are looking after, but they don't realize underneath it's a series of crimes.
Yeah. So and we will definitely see that neighborhood. The sirens will be going, full bore. Eventually, somebody's going to get on a police scanner, and they're going to call in, some real vigilantes or some real supers here to try and hunt you down. And eventually, you're going to have to run away.
Ah, okay.
Says, I think you leave Chad bleeding out there in the pea gravel. And then we can see this montage of you hitting other people as it just, what does it feel like? Why are you doing this? What is it? Is it just hunger, or is it giving you something?
I think it's encouragement and working out aggression and wrong that just happened to me earlier in the day. It's not fair that I'm being treated this way whenever I'm trying to do the right thing. And basically
Absolutely.
seeing Chad, I think the cut will probably scar, and seeing that he will have an image of that and know his wrong and what caused it, I think sends a surge through me. And I want to make sure everyone else knows that too.
Absolutely. They will rue the day. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So why don't you roll escape for me?
Run away?
Run away.
Okay. That is volatile.
Yep.
So I rolled a 4. My volatile is 2. Does the other thing still count? I had a +1 to roll whenever I'm pursuing a hunger, but I'm in my darkest self. I don't know.
Yeah. So what's if let's see, you got that +1, what would that take you to?
7.
7.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll let you get away, but you need to pick one of those.
Okay. Ooh, I like the idea that I leave something behind for the vigilantes you mentioned that were called in to find.
Absolutely. What is it you lose off your costume?
Oh, so I imagine that I have like a cheap voice changer so that they wouldn't, Chad wouldn't recognize my voice, and I leave that behind.
Okay.
So going forward, my voice, would be my own until I can find something to replace it.
Okay. It will get dropped off. I mean, what you know is that at some point, someone is after you. Like you see a figure moving across the rooftops. There's that sound. Maybe something comes flying past you at one point. You never see who exactly it is, but you have to take off, and you lose that voice thing before you desperately make your way home. Winter. So when you go home, certainly Billy's maybe a little more quiet on the way home, but she kind of is still following in your wake when you get back to the house. What are your foster parents like?
Well, I think that Paul is your standard kind of like office worker who works late hours and kind of like he's probably works in law or something like that. Maybe he has like aspirations for politics, and that's why they've gone like the foster care route. But it's really Prudence who runs the house, and Prudence is very, very obsessed with the idea that Billy is just not like not photogenic, but like doesn't present like a good enough public face for like the kind of lifestyle that she would like to project.
Absolutely. And probably by the time you get home, it's a little bit later after school, you stay a little bit after. Prudence has already got that first glass of wine that she's walking around the house with. And she says, what's you two are a little late.
And then before Billy can say anything, is like, oh, we were just planning for the Sadie Hawkins dance this weekend.
She goes, oh, I see. And did someone ask you, Winter?
Yes, as a matter of fact, Billy and I are going together with our friends Eva and Chad.
Oh, that's very, very generous of you. And she goes, well, I think I got the stuff from the fresh market. I've been working on that. I think I messed up the instructions, so we might be going out. They say it's supposed to be easy. It's a little harder than I thought it would be. I don't understand these. So,
well, I didn't get that much chance for big city food when I was living on that commune, so I don't have a problem with that.
Well, then let's go out. So, you have, Winter. Do we need to get you something? We should go shopping for you, right?
I mean, formal attire wasn't really what we wore where I come from, so.
Well, let's go to Marshall Fields or maybe Macy's and see that. And maybe even Ellis Ayres. We could find something nice for you there, or someplace else. If there's someplace else you want to go, and Billy will get you something too.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of inconveniencing you, but I would really appreciate it.
No, there's that grill. We can go to the mall, and there's that place where you tell them what you want, and they'll grill it for you, and then they bring it to you. Yeah, it's a cute little place, and so we'll go there. And Billy follows along in your wake. What does Prudence want to dress you as?
So Prudence, I'm betting that they're probably like kind of the like old school Reagan style Republicans. So like it's probably like a 3-piece suit with like a not so glamorous tie, and it's definitely not fitted to Winter's taste. So.
And what do you think?
It is certainly makes me look presidential, don't you think?
Yeah, it's striking. It has some lines to it.
But I just I wonder though, wouldn't something perhaps a little bit more modern befitting. You know, the way things work nowadays, if I'm going to be student council president, I really have to set the tone.
Oh, absolutely. She hears that and she's like, yes. Yeah, so what are you thinking?
And then I point to like there's like a Gucci outlet mall like right across the way, and I'm just like, well, I did see some wonderful stuff in that store window over there.
Well, we should go there. Billy, put that back. That won't go with your skin. And she will say, let's go over there.
And I just kind of like, you know, very casually looking, but like with this like look of fierce determination in my eyes, as soon as nobody's looking at me, like charge into the Gucci outlet.
And so the prudence is as you know, wrapped around your finger. What are you doing with Billy in the course of this?
So I think that this is where like a lot of my mother's kind of like nurturing charms come in, because I can tell that Billy's also not super comfortable with like doing this being like put on display and stuff like that. So I'm actually doing my best to find a dress or something that makes her feel good, but also looks good as my date.
And Prudence makes a few of the usual comments you've heard about her. You know, if you just get contacts, Billy, it'd open up your face, and we could do something with that. You know, even though Billy's allergic to contacts, her mother still kind of hasn't. She thinks that's psychological. So yeah, Billy kind of is following in your wake, and you are kind of finishing up there. You've spent way more money than Billy has ever spent on clothes here at the outlet mall when your phone rings, and it's Chad.
And I like kind of like, you know, like wave at the others and then take a few steps away and be like, Chad, why are you calling so late?
I'm at the emergency room. I was walking through the park and this guy jumped me and cut me.
Oh my God, are you going to be okay?
My parents are out of town, and I have my insurance card, but they tell me I can't leave without somebody to drive me, and they're making a big deal out of this, and I just want to get out of here because they cut me across the face.
And I was just like, I'll be right there. And then like, I don't even like, I just hang up in that like TV show kind of way. Just like, don't say goodbye, just hang up.
Okay.
And then like turn around and like put on my like sweetest voice. And it's like, Mrs. Paddock, would it be okay if Billy and I stopped off somewhere on the way home?
Sure. Well, we could get some like an accessory place or something.
Oh, I would really love to take Billy to look at some new frames. I know that she doesn't really like contacts, but I think that there's something that we can do about those frames, and it'll really bring out her face. But you know, I think that she'd prefer it if it was just the two of us.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'll drive us home, and then you can take the car.
That would be so great. Thank you so much.
And we will cut to the emergency room, and Chad is there, and his face is bruised, and he's got this nasty set of stitches across his forehead that comes down, and probably one of his eyes is blackened, and he looks like hell.
Chad, what happened? You look like hell. How are you supposed to go to the dance looking like this?
I was walking through the park, and this guy in like a getup jumped me.
Like a getup? Like what?
Like a supervillain thing.
Oh, I guess that is a thing that's like a thing here, isn't it? Do you have any idea who it is? We can't let them go unpunished. I can't let someone do that to you.
No, there was all kinds of sirens and stuff all around, and police were out looking for him. But I want to get out of here because I don't want this. I want to get, and you can tell they've given him some pain stuff, and he's kind of on that slurring edge of things.
Yeah. So I like kind of like don't let Billy say anything. I just like, like work to like load him up in the car.
Oh yeah, she kind of wants to like maybe sit in the back seat to maybe comfort him, and maybe you put him in the front seat so she can't do that, and she kind of sits behind him and she's quiet. And you'll get him back to his place, and Billy will say, Winter, I don't know if he should maybe stay here by himself. His parents are out of town. Maybe I should stay to make sure he doesn't,
Billy, I lied to your mother to make sure that we could come and get him, and I can't show up without you. Prudence may have maybe 3 sheets to the wind already, but I'm pretty sure she'll notice if I don't bring her daughter home.
Let's shut someone down.
Let's see. So my cold is a +1, which makes that a 12.
So
that roll again.
You just absolutely push her down, and her shoulders bend, and you say, you're right. Okay, Chad. And Chad's basically staggering back into his house.
Yeah. And at that point, I'll be like, Billy, wait in the car. I'm going to take Chad in and make sure he gets upstairs, okay?
And she sits back in the car.
Yeah. And then at that point, what I'm going to do is I want to take Chad upstairs and get him like comfortable. But then I want to gaze into the abyss to see if I can figure out what happened to him.
All right. So you'll get him upstairs. Do we get a CW style scene of you getting him undressed? And
for sure.
Absolutely, abs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And into bed. He's had way too much. Let's have you roll with dark.
Okay, so my dark is a -1, which makes that an 8.
So I think that you will see this figure. I mean, in the classic sort of, we see that sort of dark vigilante outline, and we see this figure stalking around. But at the same time as you see that, there's almost like this secondary image of another figure with its hand on that figure's shoulder, like driving it forward, like something else pushing them. And you get that vision. You've probably put 2 and 2 together by smelling Chad's clothing by this point, and gotten the sense that Chad, was out drinking. And you will definitely see this just anger figure, this avatar of wrath, just descend on Chad, and doesn't even give Chad a moment to respond before he drops Chad. And dropping Chad doesn't abate that figure's hunger, only makes them hungrier. Does that seem fair?
Yeah. I think that if there's anything, like Winter puts like a finger on his lips and is just like feels his stomach growl a little bit as if he's hungry.
Yep. Let's cut from one hunger to another. Katerina. You ran away. You ran away and found that skin. So where do we see you now?
I think back at home, but it's unclear how I got there. If like someone else came and picked me up, or if I waited, or if I had to walk home or take a bus or something. I'm in my bed, like listening to some sort of like rock music, something like that you can hear through the headphones
coming through there. And you'll hear that knock that starts out low until you can kind of finally start to hear the edges of it.
I just take them off and then kind of like throw them at my feet and sit up and I like actually get up to go answer it.
And what is your other aunt's name? Not the one who said those
Yzma.
horrible- Pardon?
Yzma was the one who picked me up. Griselda is the other one.
Griselda, looks at you when you open the door, and she says, "Have you eaten?"
Yeah, I got something on the way.
Have you eaten enough?
Probably, yeah. I don't know what. Look, I'm really sorry about today. I didn't want to bring you guys in, and
Esma wouldn't say what happened today, so I don't know what went on. She seemed upset. You seem upset. I don't want to pry further, but this is a bad time of the month, so I wish to make sure that you have eaten. Will you come down to the kitchen?
yeah. Do you have
And
any sandwiches?
yes.
Then
And
like
is
I'll sit down, and I think like as I'm eating, just like we were doing this drill, and I don't know, they surprised us, and I didn't mean to. I kind of hurt him a lot, and then like Yzma came, and I mean, I'm not in trouble, I don't think, but yeah.
She sits down across from you, and you're the only person who has food in here. All the food here is your food. None of it is theirs. So anything they make is for you. And she sits down across from you, and she reaches over and she takes your hand, and she pulls it over to her, and that's a lot of blood.
There's an accident. That matters.
And they didn't see anything. They didn't say anything.
I don't know. Yzma handled all of it. It sounded like things were okay. She said the guy didn't die, or they'd be making a lot bigger deal. But I have to go to this stupid dance on the full moon, and I can't. Yeah, Griselda.
You've been able to hold yourself in check for a time before. You're going to have to be better at it, right?
I guess so. It's not like I have a choice.
You're the one who wanted to go to a school.
That doesn't... Yeah, but not on the full moon.
Well, that's the trade-off, isn't it? She says, you're the only one of your kind in this city, and we've had to figure out how to manage that.
How do you know that?
What do you mean?
How do you know I'm the only one? Like, my mom was at least, right? I mean, it's a city.
She looks away like you haven't had this discussion before, or at least she's avoided it before. And she looks away like she's avoiding the question, and she will say, I think you should probably put your attention on how you're going to manage yourself on Friday, not on other matters.
I know. Like, I can... The meditation only helps so much. I know it's like, that's... use my thing, whatever, breathe. What if I hurt somebody? Like, really? Like today or worse? Or I mean, I kind of know people here. Sort of, a little bit. Maybe.
She gets up and she says, just wait here for a moment. And she comes back and she has with her a box that she opens up. And you can see that it has like a black silk choker kind of thing. And you can see that there is a piece of silver, with a design on it in the center.
Is that a dog collar? Aunt Griselda?
I wouldn't call it that. And she holds it up and she says, if you wish, you can take this with you. And if you really need to control yourself, you can put this on.
And I think I don't say anything, then she just leaves it on the table.
Yeah.
And leaves the room or something, and then I take it.
Okay. That sounds perfect. Does that seem good end scene there? So we cut to the next day at school. It's the day before the dance. There's still a lot of talk about the drill from yesterday. There's a lot of confused reports about that. People say that the janitor tried to maybe grope a student, and one of the kids, knocked him on his ass. And there's a lot of discussion about how one of the other girls had her nails were too sharp, and cut, looked like she cut the throat of the other guy, but it was actually just just grazed him, and there was a lot more blood than actually was. And very clearly the principal is working overtime, talking to teachers and keeping this all kind of quiet. Nobody wants a lawsuit about what happened, so everybody is being particularly reluctant to say anything. When you come into the school today, Jesse, you will see in the hallway Gene, and he's never really paid all that much attention to you before, but you see when he sees you, he kind of looks startled and does that thing where he looks away and then is doing stuff in his locker to try to avoid looking at you.
Right, and Gene was the one who sketched something in his book the other day, and I still don't know what that was.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to approach Gene and try to intimidate him.
Interesting. So tell me what that looks like.
I think I walk up to his locker and I stand a little bit too close, and it's like, "Hey, Gene."
Jesse, how's it going?
Oh, it's going fine. Do I see his sketchbook?
He's got it tucked into his backpack there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to reach into his backpack and pull out the sketchbook.
Interesting. That when you go for a sketchbook, you have the sense that anything else that if you grab for that, you would be okay with it. You wouldn't react. But when you go for the sketchbook, he definitely does clamp down and go to pull it to his chest. So do you want to play this emotionally, like maybe shut someone down, or do you want to lash out physically? What do you think this is? Because this is something he clearly like it matters to him.
I think I'm going to try to shut him down. It's like, hey, I was just being friendly. Don't what are you doing? You're grabbing at me. Don't grab at me.
Okay, so essentially embarrassing him
Yeah.
out in the thing. Okay, let's have you roll shut someone down.
And that is a 7, but I am at -1, so it is a 6.
So you go to grab at that, and the good news is you get to mark XP. The bad news is he actually shoves you back, and he screams in the hall, "Get away from me!" And like everybody looks at you, everybody stares, and he slams his locker shut and he takes off. Like not only did he want to protect that, but he is afraid of you, like seriously afraid. And he runs, and everyone stares at you on your ass in the middle of the high school hallway there. What do you do?
I'm going to get up and brush myself off, and I just say, someone's in for trouble.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I believe you should give me a condition for that.
I'm actually going to have you mark harm.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, like you landed and
Right.
It hurt.
Okay.
So Winter, what's your plan on Thursday?
Well, I know that after the Sadie Hawkins dance, the student council elections are going to kick into full swing. So I think that I have forced Billy to stay up like late last night, and we've just made muffins for like we've made like 5 dozen muffins or something like that.
Billy's made 5 dozen muffins, and you've
entertained her with my enlightening and engrossing conversation while she did so.
She's got some bandages on her hands from having burnt her fingers in a couple of places. And you see her when she comes in the room and looks, and Chad's desk is empty. He's out today, clearly recovering. And she looks disappointed. She's like, "Oh, I put some muffins aside for Chad."
We can take them to Chad after school, but did you see how strung out he was? Of course he wasn't going to be here today.
Oh, okay. Sorry. And Iva comes over to where you're at, and she looks at the muffins and looks at Billy, rolls her eyes, and she's like, what's going on?
And then, like, without missing a beat, I'm like, of course we made some gluten-free here. But then and I hand her a muffin, but then also I'm like, I'm just greasing the wheels for my campaign for student council president.
Since when are you running for student council president?
Since I decided to yesterday.
Okay. So what's the plan?
Well, I was thinking that since we're all going to the Sadie Hawkins dance tomorrow night, we could do a live stream on your Instagram, and we could show everyone what a great time we're having, and then also maybe I'll pepper in some hashtags.
I guess we could do that. Okay.
Well, about that. So Chad is a little indisposed and doesn't look that great. So I think he's not going to be joining us for the dance tomorrow night. So we need to find you another date.
She looks around. Well, there aren't a lot of quality men around here.
I mean, Ramiro's very artistic, and Jean has that whole debonair K-pop thing going on.
I suppose. I saw Jean freak out in the hallway today. I don't think I want to be part of that.
Well, if you really want to be daring, you could always ask Toby. That would certainly score us a lot of points.
No, that's a little too far.
Gosh, Ava, why do you have to be such a killjoy?
So I'll work on Ramiro.
Good. Well, let me know, and then also take another muffin and make sure that you tell everyone how delicious they are.
I will tell them the muffins that you made are delicious.
Thank you.
And she does that, second queen bee smile, but she knows who's in charge. But she moves away there. Drake, you come in and you will see. Let's take up sort of in the immediate aftermath of Jean's thing. You will see Jessie kind of getting up like she got knocked down in the hall, and she's getting her things together, and she maybe looks like she's. Did you hit an elbow, a knee? What happened there, Jessie?
I think I twisted an ankle a little bit.
So Drake, yeah, you see Jessie looks like she's favoring one leg.
So I think I go over to her and I try to, make sure she gets up. I said, someone picking on you?
Nah, just I can handle myself.
Yeah, well, your limp might say otherwise. And, I know you can handle yourself. But sometimes everyone needs some help.
I think your kind of help is a bit extreme for a little school squabble.
I think he kind of says, "Oh, I understand," and then turns around and glares at everyone else, in the hallway, trying to discern who this might have been.
Do you think you're gazing into the abyss?
Oh, that sounds fantastic. That wasn't my intention, but yes.
Plus
that
dark.
A 6, and my dark is a -1, so that's a 5.
So I think he will certainly see that Toby is standing there with a smirk on her face. Sorry, on their face. And kind of looks and walks off like job well done. Like they definitely give you the impression that they're responsible for what just happened to Jessie.
So I think, it's mental list. Toby moves up.
Okay.
And I think I'm even going to. So I think that Jessie, and I say, I'll leave you to yourself. I know you can handle yourself. And I slip off.
Okay.
And I think we all share the same homeroom, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'm at homeroom, the door to the homeroom, waiting for Toby whenever they come through.
Okay.
And I think as Toby comes through, I follow them. I think I sit kind of diagonal behind them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that as I pass by their desk, I'll say, I know what you did. I had my eyes on you. And this is intended as a threat.
Interesting. Do you think does this rise to the level of a roll, do you think?
I'd like to see what the consequences of a roll are. Yes.
Okay. So I think this probably shut someone down.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. And I rolled. Ooh, I rolled a 3. Nothing can help a 3.
So Toby looks at you and she says, "Really?" Sorry, they. I apologize. We're still getting these pronouns right. They say, "Really? I know what you've been up to."
And I think he kind of does a double take. I think he's been up all night long, and is easily confused by this. And he oh, and instead of intimidating her, I think she intimidated him. So he kind of.
They look at you
Oh.
and say, "Yeah, a lot of sirens last night."
And he kind of says, well, it's a good thing that we have police to protect us, right? And I think he sits down.
And they just on you
Ooh,
throughout the homeroom.
good.
Katerina, I forget, do you take the bus or do you get dropped off or do you walk?
I think I get dropped off. Like, my aunts have like very different schedules. One of them definitely works evenings, so like last thing she does before she goes to sleep or something.
So Esma definitely is the one who brings you in this morning. Doesn't say a word during the drive-in.
I will take my cue from her.
Okay. Drops you off, and you'll go into school, and you can kind of already smell a little whiff of a little violence already in the school hall this morning. And when you get into the homeroom, probably get a sniff of the fear and intimidation and muffins, like blueberry muffins, like very strong.
And like undercurrent of bleach or whatever too.
Yeah. And Billy will come over and will say, Katerina?
Yeah.
Here's a muffin.
Thanks.
Vote for Winter.
Is he the only candidate?
He's the only candidate that matters.
Right. Look, are you?
Okay, I'm gonna go sit down.
Wait, I
And she mousily goes back to sit down at her seat.
and I look after her. It's like I definitely want to like talk to her and like make sure she's okay.
Yeah, you can see she's got little bandages on, and she looks kind of exhausted and maybe sad.
But then I want to like.
Okay, head over there. You can see as you pass by, Gene is like kind of clutching his bag tight, and he's kind of keeping his head down and looks super nervous. And Drake looks more nervous than you would expect from him. Like maybe they yelled at him a lot yesterday because he looks a little chagrined today.
Yeah, and I assume that's because of what I did. So I'm like not quite looking anybody in the eye. But I stop by your desk, Drake, and just like put the muffin on it. Do you want this?
And I kind of startledly looked up at you, kind of surprised, and I'm like, well, thank you, Katerina.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Well, it's really just an excuse. Can I talk to you now or later or something?
Yeah. Let's talk now.
And I think like I look back at like an empty desk beside you, and then can we in the hallway?
I think Drake stands up, looks at Toby, and then purposefully kind of.
Toby's doing this thing where the hands go into the little triangle, and they're watching this whole thing go down.
And I think Drake kind of eyes Toby and kind of sidles out of the room, following Katarina.
Yeah, I'm definitely not looking at Toby because they're so put together, even this early in the morning.
Go in the hallway. You've still got a few minutes before class starts.
I wanted to say, because of yesterday, it was an accident. You know that, right?
Oh,
It wasn't.
it certainly wasn't your fault. I mean, barging in on a group of kids, they should know better.
Yeah, but I mean, that's good to hear you say. I hurt somebody though, and I don't.
Somebody that deserved it. I mean,
Well,
I think it's okay.
No.
I mean, did you see the way that they shoved Jesse around? I mean, that shouldn't be happening. Do you think they should be pushing us around?
Well, no, but I almost killed him. Doesn't that matter?
Well, if you had just tried to jump this guy, then of course that would matter. You were defending yourself. And if someone happens to die while you're defending yourself, so be it, right?
No.
Well, I
Is
mean,
that what you think?
well, should you just roll over and let someone, take over what you do? Is that right? That someone just walks in and shoves you around and you just take it?
That's not what I'm talking about. That has nothing to do with anything. You're not supposed to hurt people.
Well, people aren't supposed to hurt you either.
But they didn't. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. This is a bad idea. You're the wrong person to. Is that really what you think?
That you should defend yourself? Yes, I think you're important.
That hurting people is okay if you do it for the right reasons.
What's much better than doing them for the wrong reasons, isn't it?
I just think that's a really dangerous way of looking at it. Because if you kill somebody and convince yourself it doesn't matter, what's next?
I'm not saying it
I
doesn't.
I don't want to.
Go ahead.
That's it.
Oh, I'm not saying that you should just kill someone because you feel like it. Of course not.
I'm not going to.
No. But I think you were defending yourself. You were defending all of us. I think that's something you should be proud of. I'm sorry someone got hurt, but everyone here, the principal, everyone involved knows that they were in the wrong. Except for you.
Doesn't feel that way, and I don't think it should.
Ooh. I think I'm gonna put my hand on your shoulder to comfort you a little bit and let you know I think what you did is okay.
That's so messed up. I feel like we need to roll something here.
Yeah.
So, do you think that this is the equivalent of turning someone on?
So I could roll.
Is it one of you shutting the other down? What do you think that the power dynamic is here?
So I think I'm rolling to turn you on, but you're rolling to shut me down, right?
I feel like there were a couple opportunities for shutdowns, but like this is definitely turning on.
Oh, okay.
Let's do the turning on. Let's see what happens from that, and that may prompt another roll. So why don't you roll with hot, Drake?
Okay. I rolled a 6, and my hot is a -1.
So I'm going to leave this in your hands.
Is this justice?
Oh, I don't think this is
Because you also have a
necessarily
string on
justice.
me.
Ooh, I do.
Yeah.
But I think I'll let the roll stand. You're going to leave this in whose hands?
Katerina, he says it in like the worst way, like in the way that you've heard your aunts talk about feeding on victims.
I think worse. It sounds like the things I've told myself.
And what do you do? What is your reaction?
I think
Sorry, what is your overreaction?
I think I look at you and just like pull my shoulder away from where you're touching it and just I should have known you were the wrong person to talk to about any of this.
I think that I put my hands up and, I understand.
And Katerina kind of moved probably back into the classroom. And Drake, you'll kind of look and you'll see down the hallway clearly a new substitute janitor, kind of very fit looking in the janitor clothing, kind of well built. Haven't seen him before, but he's definitely been watching this exchange.
And I think I'll turn to the janitor and give him a little nod and then step back into the classroom.
Let's do an interaction between Jesse and Winter. Let's do that crossover if you don't mind. Winter, do you think you would approach Jesse? Jesse, would you approach Winter? Winter, you've certainly got someone to. You've got to give her a muffin. Does she eat? Is that a question? You don't know.
So unless Jesse has sought me out beforehand, I will definitely track them down, muffin in hand.
Right, and since I sit next to you in class, tracking me down is probably not very hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I actually go find you in the hallway though, unless you're already there.
No, that's fine. I mean, I think maybe you meet me coming out of the bathroom. I went in there to sort of adjust my clothes and make sure I looked okay.
Mm-hmm. And I just show up muffin in hand, a really concerned look on my face, and I say, Jesse, are you okay?
And I give you kind of an odd look because I don't know what's prompting this. It's like, is he flirting with me? What game is he playing? But I would take the muffin. And yeah, I'm fine.
And I just I smile concernedly, and I'm just I was so worried about you. After all, I didn't, know how you were going to react after yesterday, and I wanted to check in and see how you were doing.
I'm fine. Why wouldn't I be fine?
Well, you did think you were getting attacked by a terrorist, and then fell through the floor, and then had,
We don't talk about that. It's not like I can be really hurt, right? So,
I don't know. Can you, Jesse?
Nobody gets to me.
You're very extraordinary, and I just wanted to make sure that you're okay.
I'm fine. I am. Look. Nobody has to take care of me. Nobody. Got that?
I don't want to take care of you. I just want to be here in case you need anything.
Like a muffin.
They're really good muffins. Billy worked really hard on them.
Well, I'll be sure to thank Billy then.
Well, I think she would appreciate that as long as you modulate your tone a little bit. But I wanted to know, are you going to the Sadie Hawkins dance tonight?
I am. Drake asked me.
That's surprising.
He asked me in front of the whole class. You were there.
I must have been checking Twitter or something.
Right. Well, it's nice to know that if I ever need your help, you'll be there for me as long as you're not checking Twitter.
I kind of deserved that. But, Jesse, I just want you to know your secret is safe with me.
It had better be. Because if it's not, I will come for you and nobody can stop me.
Winter, I have a question for you here.
Mhm.
You've got some strings on Jesse. Are you using them?
I'm kind of not using them. I'm just lording them.
Okay.
So I'm really trying to position this as like, I have a secret on you, and I want to be your friend, but also I'm holding the strings here.
Yeah, and I think I was just trying to shut Winter down.
Mhm.
Do you want to roll a shut Winter down?
Yeah, let's see. That is a 9.
So on a 9, you choose one from below, but you come across poorly, and they give you a condition in return. So what do you want as your pick?
I that they do have strings on me, so I can't gain a string on them. I'll take they lose a string on me.
Okay.
And Winter, what condition do you want to inflict on Jesse?
I think I'm going to inflict the condition erratic. And I think I'll say something that's like, Jesse, your mood seems pretty erratic. I think that you should take it easy. Like, to kind of just like be like, I hear you, but I'm still in control.
And I think that bell will ring, summoning people to class and marking a break. We'll take 6 minutes, come back, and figure out where we are with the rest of this day. So take 6.
So I realized something that we probably should have done is have you roll to keep your cool for resisting the urge to feed on justice.
Probably, but it
That's
seems like
right.
a better case for that would have been with Jessie whenever she got pushed down.
But you're in darkest self now too, so
Yeah, you're not in great shape. So, I had thought I had put it originally as this was Thursday and the next day was the dance, but maybe it's better if this is the day of the dance. Unless anybody has a thing they want to do in the evening before that. Does that seem good, or I just want to check in? What do you think? Does anyone object to moving forward? That there's something they want to definitely do before the dance thing comes around?
That's fine with me.
Katerina, you get called to the principal's office.
like right after this conversation or later in the day?
maybe the next class. During it. What's your next class?
Probably like biology.
Okay. Are you in honors, regular, AP, bio?
Regular, I think.
Regular. Okay. So they are definitely in the frogs and Bunsen burners and cats stage of the thing. But yeah, you will get called to the office, and the secretary at the desk says, "There's a phone call for you."
And I'm still thinking of like dissecting frogs and cats and like the weird similarities between like that and the wolf, like the way the paws move, but I don't have claws. I wish I had like extendable claws, that'd be cool. And then it kind of registers like what she said, and I'm like, oh, who is it?
I think it's your father.
Oh, go pick it up. Hello?
Daughter.
Dad.
Don't do the voice.
Fine.
I understand from your aunts that there's an issue this evening.
No, there's not gonna be.
All right. Well, have a good time. If there are any problems, call me and I will come to sort things out.
Okay. There's not gonna be though.
All right then. Goodbye.
Bye.
The secretary's kind of been watching / eavesdropping on this. Like, is everything okay?
Yeah. It's fine. It's gonna be fine.
All right, let me write you a hall pass. Hands that back to you. Drake, how are you dealing with your darkest self in school the rest of the day with the knowledge that someone may know your secret ID?
So I think that to a certain extent, a lot of justice was dealt out last night. And I'm still looking for it. And I think that's where part of that stare around the rest of the school came from. I think Toby shocked me a little bit with the knowledge, I'm certain that they know who I am. So I think I'm unsure, which is something that's unusual for me.
You're hungry, but
Yes.
unsure.
Yes. Unsure. Usually I feel justified in doling out justice and doling out, punishment. However, I've dealt a lot of punishment already last night, and I'm not certain with all the cops and with Toby I can continue to get away with it.
So what do you do? Do you try and hide out the rest of the day? Do you try to keep your head down? Do you head home? What do you want to do?
I think I'm too restless to hide out. I think I stay there. I stay at school. Usually, I try to be quiet, try to make sure no one interacts with me. I think in this case, I go out and I, talk to some of the, you know, hoodlums in school and, you know, see if I can't just push just a little bit. Maybe go places I normally wouldn't belong.
So you want to essentially get someone to start a fight with you?
I think I'm looking for that, whether I know it or not. Yeah.
Okay. Then I think what I want you to do is roll with volatile.
Okay. That's an 11.
So yeah, tell me what that looks like when you spark one of these hoodlums, in the gym class to push back at you, and you lash out physically with an 11.
Okay. Yeah, so I think the way this looks like is we're in gym and maybe it's the typical, um dodgeball kind of situation. And we've both been taken out. And I see some of the kids are a lot more aggressive with this and are going after the smaller kids. And I think I intentionally got out so that I could go sit next to one of these bullies. And I tell him, you know, maybe you should pick on someone your own size. And that, he kind of shoves back a little bit. And whenever he shoves back, ooh, I think I grab his arm, I twist it behind him, and, kind of shove it up, and I hear a little bit of a crack.
Yeah, I think you hear a crack, you deal harm.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you hear that crack, and he screams out and, drops to the tops of the floor. And it's loud enough that the other people look around, but there are enough kids around you that nobody quite sees who did this. But you'll see the gym teacher come running over, and they come over to see what's happened. And he's a bully, but he's not a snitch. And you see the gym teacher kind of grab onto him and is looking around, and he's kind of purple faced, shouting, all right, who did this? And they're kind of looking around, and you will notice that the janitor's here. And the gym teacher, gets his assistant over to haul this bully to the nurse's office. And the gym teacher says, all right, everybody, we're doing laps until the end of class. Start it up till somebody tells me what happened here.
And I think, so I start jogging around, and I go by some of the smaller kids, and I say, that one won't hurt you anymore.
And yeah, do you think that has sated your hunger?
I think over the course of events with last night and looking for fights here, this is a little bit beyond the justice that I'm used to. I'm used to criminals, and in this case, it's probably, just a bully is probably enough to be like, okay, that's enough.
So do you think this has sated your hunger, or do you think instead that this is kind of going past what you ought to have done and you're overindulging to try and break out of your darkest self?
This is going over what I normally would have done, and it sounds like an
Yeah.
overindulgence. And I think that Katarina's words kind of echo in the back of my head of, questioning. Is it okay to hurt someone just because they did something wrong? And that whole, taking it too far, she definitely got into my head.
So you won't get the satiety thing. You won't be able to get that thing, but I will let you move out of that darkest self. And I think you will jog around and until some of the younger kids throw up with the laps there. And that janitor's there, the whole class, just kind of watching, just kind of assessing.
Every lap I do, I nod at the janitor.
He doesn't react.
Yeah.
Jesse. What are you doing? Jean freaked out, knocked you down. You're still kind of angry about that?
Yeah, I mean,
You're kind of in bad shape condition-wise, aren't you?
yeah. Plus, I'm furious with Toby. So, I mean, I think I see the guidance counselor going into a meeting with the principal, and I impulsively ditch English class to break into the guidance counselor's office and get some dirt on Toby.
Interesting. So, you obviously don't want to get caught doing this, right?
No.
So, let's have you keep your cool.
That's a 9.
That is a 9. So I think you can get in there and do this, but I think it requires you to use some of your ghostly powers.
Oh yeah, I was definitely planning to walk through the door.
Absolutely. Now, that's going to get you some attention. So you can choose to press on or give someone that attention.
I mean, I will. I will press on. I will take the attention. I'm going to minimize the attention. I'm going to wait in the hall. I'm going to. I'll go into the bathroom. I'll wait until it's between classes. There aren't too many people in the hall. But I mean, I'm just going to rely on the fact that I fell through the floor yesterday, and everybody was just convinced that I had run out of the room. So. I think even if I do walk through the door, they aren't going to believe it.
Sure. So I think you will move through that wall into the guidance counselor's thing. And as you do, you will feel almost like a gaze at a distance that kind of turns, has been looking around the school and passes over and senses you doing that. Even as you step in and you realize that someone in an unearthly way has seen you.
Okay, well, that's disconcerting, but I'm already in the office. I might as well do what I came here to do.
So you going through the files then?
Yes. And basically, I'm looking for dirt on Toby, something embarrassing.
I think that you will probably get in there essentially the notes that indicate from a couple years ago that there is a whole sort of watch order for Toby, caution order, and that they have attempted suicide on at least 2 occasions. And that's probably the most damning thing in this folder. It's a couple years old, but there are notes, psychiatric report, that kind of thing, advisories for how the counselor should handle them if there's an issue.
Okay. I assume there's a photocopy machine in this office.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'll make copies of a couple of couple of these pieces of paper, and I'm going to put them in Winter's locker where they will find this, because Winter is the master of weaponizing damaging information.
All right. Winter, you're campaigning this afternoon, right?
I am. I am trekking around the various different clubs after school and like dropping off more muffins.
Absolutely. And both you and Iva are heading into clubs, and Iva knows which ones are susceptible to her charms, and is going in there and making a case for you, and you are heading in. And when you go back to your locker in between, Billy's kind of trailing in your wake, has some more muffins, and you open up your locker to grab something, and you will see these photocopies that have been tucked into your locker. And they are psychiatric reports on Toby, descriptions of suicide attempts.
I very quickly like take these and like kind of shove them in my bag so that Billy doesn't get a look at them. But I kind of take a glance around the hallway to see if I can figure out who put them there.
Don't see anybody around here. Like a ghost put them there.
If only that would dawn on me, but no, alas.
Are we going to, after school, are we going to stop by Chad's before the dance to check on him, or what were we going to do?
Billy, I'm going to give you a hint. If you like someone, you should be a little less obvious about it. And that's going to be a shutdown.
Oh, yeah, roll that.
And that's an 8.
So, what is it that you want to do to her?
I don't think she has strings on me, does she?
No, she doesn't.
Okay. So I think that what I'm going to do actually is, let's see. I think I've already got a string on her too. So I think what I'm going to do is I've got
on her.
I think I'm just going to take the +1 forward, like rolling on my high.
And I think her wounded puppy dog reaction to you is going to give you a condition, heartless.
And it stings just a little bit.
Yeah.
But then I kind of look at her and I say, I'm only looking out for your best interests. Chad's no good for you.
Whatever you say, Winter.
Okay.
You know what's right.
But let's go. We need to tell him he's not coming to the dance tonight anyway.
Okay. Clutches her bag tightly, and goes to follow you. Anything else that you would do here in school before you head out?
I don't think so, but I think that what you see as like Billy is driving us there is I like pull up on my phone like a slides app, and I start making a little PowerPoint presentation based off of what I saw in the files, just in case.
That's nice and cruel. I like that. That's very good. So we've got that stretch between the end of school and the dance at 8. Essentially, it's going to be a dance, pizza party, a lock-in with a superhero guest speaker, the Red Exorcist, and that's the whole thing that's going on this evening. Lots of chaperones and that kind of thing. So, Katerina, what do you do in between?
Go home and before I go home and get changed, I guess. was kind of hoping to run into Winter, but he's left.
Well, we can do that scene before Winter leaves. Do you want to do that?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Catch you on the way out.
It's as school is ending, if people are milling around. Winter's probably around a little bit longer, giving out muffins to the last people that he hasn't caught. Winter, where does Katerina find you?
We're probably like in the school courtyard next to the fountain. Like that's kind of like where we've set up, and like Billy's like packing away the last of her baskets, and I'm like going through and just like texting a bunch of people to like make sure you vote for me for, you know, student council president.
And yeah, we got that fountain that we talked about. Yeah. And Billy sees you, Katerina. Oh, did you like the muffin? Did you eat it?
No, actually, I'm sure it was fine.
She's already slightly crushed, and she kind of goes back to her baskets, kind of turns away to leave you and Winter to talk.
I was like, oh, did they need to have some sort of other thing? I only made them gluten-free. I should have made them vegan.
No, I just didn't eat it.
Oh, well, okay then. Anyway, why are you here so late after school?
It's not that late. I just saw you out here campaigning or whatever. Like, were you guys in the slot garden a couple days ago?
In the what?
That garden.
Oh, the
kind of alleyway thing, yeah.
Yeah, the park kind of thing. I was just like, I seem to remember we probably went to a park some night. Why do you ask?
Because you left a whole bunch of trash there?
If it's the same park I'm thinking of, there's always a bunch of trash there.
Pretty sure it was yours. So stop doing that. But also, did you see anybody?
I mean, we were having a really good time and we weren't really paying attention to anything. You seem like you're asking something specific, though. So why don't you just tell me what's up?
I'm asking you what I'm asking you. Did you see anybody? And also stop leaving your trash.
Fine, we'll pick up after ourselves next time. But
Good.
only our trash. We're not touching anything else. Don't need to get stuck by a needle.
Whatever, just like nature, you know? Leave no trace, okay?
Maybe you should try telling that to all those other kids who throw those parties there.
Well, the city's not doing it. Anyway, did you see anybody?
I may have seen somebody. I'm so out of character. I'm totally trying to remember. What did I see? Like, I remember we were there. We were doing a ritual. We were probably like addled out of our minds. But did I see?
I'm wondering if you saw like the person who left the pile of skin, but I don't know what day that was.
Oh, okay.
We didn't establish it as a thing. You're welcome to decide whether you did or did see someone. I'm assuming not. But also, Katerina does have a couple of strings on you too. So if Katerina wants to weaponize some things, just want to keep that in mind.
Have we established who the Skinwalker was yet, or could I just kind of drop that? Like as a matter of fact, I saw so and so.
Yeah.
I was like, and then okay, so cool. Back in character.
Yeah.
Like Winter kind of like puts his phone up against his chest and like leans back a little bit and it's like, oh my gosh, you are so needy. Fine, I saw Nyasha there last night. We invited her to party with us and she just kind of blew us off. So is that what you wanted?
Is Nyasha? Oh, okay.
Yeah, she didn't take a muffin either. Are you like in a club or something? Who are you like dating? Did you get in a fight?
Are you serious? What is wrong with you? Thank you for the information.
So are you sure you don't want a muffin? We have like 3 left.
Out of game, what kind are they?
There's like totally a blueberry one, but then there's also like a gluten-free like protein like muffin.
I just like, I give you a look and then the muffin and then back at you and then I take the blueberry one.
I was like, make sure you vote for me for student council president.
Only if you're the only candidate.
I'm pretty sure I can arrange that.
What's that supposed to mean?
I mean, you know, you never know what's going to happen. So anyway, are you going to the dance tonight?
Yeah. And I'm just thinking that I know people like you.
I was like, oh, really? Tell me more. What do you know about people like me? And I kind of like close the distance a little bit, and I get up a little bit in your personal space.
And I like lean right back.
Like we're like face to face.
People who talk the way you do. Like everyone's just a plaything.
Not everyone is a plaything. That's the thing.
Do you actually like him?
What? No, please. I'm just over here. We've got another muffin left.
See, that's what rebellious girls like you always end up thinking. You think that you know you have everyone figured out and you're so above it, but in reality, you don't know anything.
I'm under no illusions.
So I actually think that was a pretty shut downy comment. What do you think?
Indeed, yes.
Let's have you resolve that, and then we'll see.
I cannot fail. That was a 10. I'm getting no experience.
So, on 10 up, choose one from below. Choose a string on you. They gain a condition, or you take +1 forward against them.
Let's see. Do you have any strings on me?
2 on you.
On me. Yeah, I think that's going to be. I think you're going to lose one of those strings.
What's your reaction? What do we see, Katarina?
I mean, the thing is, like, everything he's saying about me is completely off base.
And yet?
I think... Well, I'll just say what I was going to say, and then we can figure it out.
Okay.
I'm under no illusions. I don't think I'm better than you. You're the one who thinks you're better than everyone else. I could see the way you treat people, okay?
And that's probably the point at which she steps in and goes, Winter's like a brother to me. I mean, he's been so nice. So you back off, Katarina.
Really?
See, that's what you've got wrong about me. You think that I talk down to everyone, you think that I treat them like playthings, but I teach them how to stand up to people like you, the people who really walk all over everyone, the people who ignore everyone else's needs. 6 weeks ago, Billy would never have said that to you, and here we are.
You see me just like close my eyes and just like suck in a breath through my nose. I think I need to roll to keep my cool.
Okay. What is it you're afraid of?
That I'm just gonna like punch him or something. And that is exactly what I do not need right now.
Roll with cold.
Can I actually get the roll for your party? I'm
sorry.
Anything.
Grab that off of this. It's a koala.
That's a 6.
I think you said you closed your eyes, drew that in, heard that, and you swing and you connect, and Billy falls to the ground. Glass is shattered. So you smack her straight, like go for a kind of like a full fist slap, and she goes sprawling out. Her face hits, you'll hear the clack of her teeth against the concrete.
I just proved you right. Oh my god.
I whip around and I slap you. Like, and we're gonna see how that goes. Watch, this will be the first time I fail. Yeah, I did. It's like a 5. But yeah, like I wasn't gonna do it. I thought you might do something like that, but then to see Billy actually like take that hard of a hit, I just like I couldn't hold it back, and I like whip out and I try to slap you across the face.
How is it that you painfully block that blow, Katerina?
Me,
Because Winter turns to do it, and for you, it's like slow motion as Winter turns to
especially
slap you.
tonight. I think I just like catch your wrist in, like, you can feel my nails dig in just a little bit. Or is it painful to me? Is that what you meant?
No, to him.
Okay, yeah, then like nails in your skin.
Winter, take one harm. And there's probably blood coming down off of that as you grab, and then you'll hear, my God. And Billy's trying to get up, but the blood and snot is coming out of her nose, and she's trying to find her glasses, and she can't.
And I just say, don't. Not tonight. To Winter.
And I see the blood coming out of my wrist, and I kind of like shake my hand free, and I like walk over to Billy, but I like scowl at you, and I'm just like, how's that moral high ground? Feeling good about yourself? And then I like gather her up and like make some leave.
When did I ever say I had the goddamn moral high ground?
I like, yeah.
All right. We'll come back to check in with two of you on how you're dressed for the evening in a bit. But anyway, so Jesse, what do you do to prepare for the dance?
Well, my mother did get me a dress. I mean, and I thought it looked okay in the store. It's this blue dress with these midnight blue sequins, and it looked, I mean, it didn't look too sparkly when in the store, but when I get it home, it's like the blue sequins are just taking over. It's not my style at all. But
your mom,
yeah,
is downstairs getting the camera together and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to wear the dress at this point, but I'm not happy. And it looks way fancier than I thought it would. I mean, Drake is going to think that I'm actually into him, which is, ugh.
I have a question. When you look in the mirror, who do you see?
I think I see both of us.
Like overlaid or like next to each other? How do we visually see that on screen?
I mean, on screen, it's like overlaid. It's like one, it shifts between one being dominant and the other, but you can always see the other one like underneath.
And your dad comes up. Jesse?
Yeah, Dad?
So what do you know about this boy?
He's in my class. His name is Drake. I don't know. He's a foster kid. We've got a lot of foster kids in this school.
Good kid, good grades. What kind of kid is he?
Well, I mean, he hasn't been expelled or anything.
Ooh, that's a pretty low bar. Maybe you could explain why you're putting it that low, sweetie.
I told you that. He's a foster kid. Foster kids have to be tough.
But he's not a delinquent.
I mean, he doesn't go out and break laws or anything.
Sweetie, this is our first dance you're going to in a while since the, and I know we had this talk before, but what did I tell you last time?
I think you told me that you trust me.
Maybe at the end, sweetie, just want you to remember that boys are awful. They're terrible. And you've always got to be careful. Just promise me. Just you'll take care of yourself. You look out for yourself, okay?
Absolutely. I mean, this isn't even a date to date. It's just we're going to the dance together. It's all in public. He's not a boyfriend or anything. I don't have a boyfriend.
Well, I'm glad I didn't know that. I just that when I was a kid, if we went on dance, it was a date. I didn't, so.
I mean, it's a date, but it's not like a date. It's just a date.
Okay, well, the distinction may be a little bit lost on me, sweetie, but we're gonna try. And he's picking you up, right?
No, I'm taking the bus.
No. We should drive you. I don't want you taking the bus this late.
It's not late. It's like 6 o'clock.
Still, I especially just let me drive you to the school.
Fine, Dad. It's not. I mean, the bus is fine. I take the bus every day to school.
I would feel better about it if you let me take you.
Fine, Dad. You can drive me.
Okay.
But just don't lecture me the whole time about what boys are like. I know what boys are like.
Okay. Fair enough. Let me cut to Drake. Drake, how are you dressed?
So I think Drake is actually just drained from being his darkest self. So
Oh,
after school, he goes home and tries to sleep it off. And I think his foster mom, wakes him up. And yeah.
Drake, sweetie, weren't you supposed to meet your little friend Jesse?
Yeah. And he's all disheveled, and I think he slept in his clothes. And he's like, "Oh, I'm late. Yeah, give me just a few minutes, and I'll get ready."
Okay, I've got a corsage. We stopped by the FTD place on the way home, and why don't you get dressed? I laid out a suit that was here from another foster that we did. I think it'll fit you. So why don't you try it on? It's a little blue, but it's pretty nice.
I think it's like black, and it has a blue shirt underneath it that's like, it kind of clashes a little bit.
Yeah.
And
it's the exact same blue as her dress.
Oh, nice. And Drake hops in the shower real quick and gets out and just throws on the clothes, and I think he probably rumpled them in the process. I think he looks around a little bit, and he, after all the escapades last night, he probably didn't put his suit and everything back in his normal hiding spot. He probably brought it home. He was just riding that high of everything. So he grabs like his utility belt and tosses it, underneath the suit, underneath the shirt. So it might look a little bit bulky, but I think it'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she was waiting for you, and she starts to say, well, we'll get you. And Kyle comes up and says, Sheila, can I borrow for a second? And she's like, okay. And Kyle takes her off to have a word with her. Very oddly.
Mm-hmm. And I think that I pick up the corsage and, go downstairs and wait next to the door.
Okay.
And maybe open the door. And do they come back?
And a couple minutes later, Sheila comes back and she looks a little shaken. And she says, okay, and you're meeting your little friend at school?
Yes.
Okay, let's go get you dropped off then. And it's a lock-in, so we'll pick you up in the morning then. Is that what's going on?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they'll open the doors back up at 9, so you can pick us up at 9.
And so make sure you stay there overnight. You don't go off the grounds.
Of course, those are the rules.
You treat Jessie like a little lady.
Of course.
Okay. And
thank you very much for the corsage.
Yes, and
that's a lifesaver.
Oh yes, and she pulls out a bunch of 5s and 1s, and she goes, I don't know if they're going to have like snacks or popcorn or anything like that at the dance, but in case you need to buy anything.
And he actually looks embarrassed, and he kind of turns to her and he says, you've done so much already. I appreciate this. And takes, let's say half the cash.
Okay.
And, puts it into his suit pocket. And, I think he's still a little bit off kilter from, the earlier, issue with Toby. And then now, his foster mom's being nice to him. He's not used to that. Other foster moms, just wrote him off. So
she will load you into the car, and she will drive you to school. Winter, Billy is she's just devastated. Her glasses are broken. She's got a huge bruise on her cheek. Her nose is slightly swollen from where it hit. And you can tell she didn't two's knocked out, but she certainly really hurt when she hit the ground. And she's like, Mom, if Mom sees me like this, she's not gonna let me go.
And I'm like trying to comfort her. I'm just like, Billy, are you sure that you want to go to the dance like this? I think about it, like these bruises are gonna look gnarly in pictures, and you're gonna be aching all night. Like, what if you and Chad just hung out tonight and didn't strain yourselves?
Do you want to spend a string on her to get her to do that?
Yeah, even though I'm pretty sure she'd jump at the chance anyway.
Yeah, but she's still kind of you kind of hit her enough that she feels like she has to go. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you spend that string, she'll be like, "Are you sure?"
Billy, I think it's really important that on a night like this, you do something that makes you feel happy and confident. And I think that if you tried to go to the dance tonight, feeling the way you feel, you're not going to have a good time.
She says, I don't think Catherine meant to hit me.
I think that she didn't know what she was doing. I mean, we need to think very charitably about everything that she's obviously going through. I mean, you don't get an attitude like that without there being a lot going on that people don't understand.
Do you think she's on meth?
That's a stretch, but in this
neighborhood. I saw a thing on 2020 about it.
What's 2020?
It's the TV show.
Oh, I don't watch TV. I just watch Netflix, but okay. So Winter is just like continues to console, and it's just like, I'm sure Chad would really enjoy the company. Eva and I can go to the dance together. It's fine.
Let me ask you a question. When you do drop her off at Chad's, is Chad excited to see her? Disappointed to see her? Have other plans? What do you imagine?
I'm pretty sure that Chad was still getting ready for the dance, even though his cut looks super gnarly because
Oh yeah.
I hadn't had a chance to talk to him yet.
Yeah. So you arrive on his doorstep. He's like done one of those like online tux things where they send it to you ahead of time. He did this a couple weeks ago in prep for this. It's nice. He's clearly spent some time thinking about this. You know, he's got it done, all his hair up. You know, it looks perfect. You know, but it's still it's that cut. It's all bruised and purple around it.
Whoa, Chad, that looks pretty rough. How you feeling?
Little. Hey, what happened to Billy?
Katarina just went off. I don't really understand, you know. And after what she did to that guy in the assembly yesterday, I wouldn't put it past her.
She's a psycho.
So, yeah, and I just, you know, I tried to step in, but she attacked me too. And I like hold up my arm, which is still kind of like scabby and stuff.
Holy shit! Did you call the cops?
I was afraid of what would happen. I really needed to get Billy out of there.
Well, Billy can't go to the dance like that.
Yeah, about that. I would really, and I kind of pull Chad away so that Billy does not hear me like plotting. And I was just like, I would really appreciate it if you'd stay here tonight with Billy. I know that your presence really comforts her, and I just think that it would be best for everyone if, you know, someone was there to take care of her tonight and didn't put her through all the stress. Like, what if Katarina's there and like it becomes a thing, you know?
Yeah, no, yeah. If you say so, absolutely. Yeah, I can. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah, we'll just hang out here.
Yeah, that would be great. And then I kind of like lean in and I was just like, Chad, this looks really bad. So,
you know, I could call some of my friends on the team. They're going to be at the dance.
Chad, I think that we should let Principal Toddlebon take care of this.
Are you sure? Because they could, you know.
Well, I really can't control what you do, but if you think that's for the best, I mean, you're gonna do what you think is best.
And what is the message you want to leave him with? Do you want him to decide on his own, or are you saying yes?
I think I've left myself enough plausible deniability that I could just say, like, I was appealing to his better judgment, but he did what he was going to do.
He just called his friends in the track and field team and told them that Katarina had beat up Billy.
Mm-hmm. It's such a shame what could happen.
Absolutely. And let me ask you this, Winter. What's your outfit look like? How are you dressed? I want to know.
Well, so we did go to the Gucci outlet last night,
yes.
And I did pick up a like beautiful white tuxedo, just like something that my mom used to wear. And I'm definitely wearing like a cherry red shirt with a white tie. And I've even actually so my hair does look like the pictures. It's like, you know, black on the sides, but then like dyed white on the top.
Mm-hmm.
I got a little styling wax that gives like little red tips on top of it too.
Excellent. And so you've almost got a little bit of this preacher look kind of going on there, right? Mm-hmm. I like that. And so are you going to then call Iva, or are you just going by yourself over there?
Oh, I have to show up with a date. So I'm going to go and get Iva and probably break it to her that she has to like cancel on whoever it was that she got a date with.
Oh, yeah. I'll just stand her mirror up.
I just love how they're wrapped around my finger.
And she will go with you to the dance. Katarina. what do we see after that encounter you just had with Winter?
Look, okay, obviously they're right about tonight, and it's gonna go terribly. I think I go into like a bathroom and like throw that necklace on.
And it burns, but you'll feel it tamp something down in you.
And
Feel
then,
kind
like,
of numb, maybe a little muddle-headed, like you've taken a tranquilizer a little bit.
I definitely don't like that, but it's better than the alternative. So yeah, like pulling my jacket closed over it and then going home to change.
So what would Katerina wear to the dance?
Probably like some light colored, like floofy skirted thing, but that's not what she gets.
Mm-hmm.
She gets like a sleek black, like not fitted, but like it does look vaguely like clubwear, but it's a little more flared.
Is this something you picked out, or do you think it's something your aunts picked out for
I
you?
think it's something Yzma picked out. Or like
And
left for me.
Griselda is there, and she sees you. Does she see the choker on you?
Yeah.
She nods and goes, well. She goes, I smell blood. Was there something else happened today?
I cut myself on the locker.
Oh, yes. You cut yourself. I see. Well, you're going to be a little heartbreaker, aren't you?
Sure.
Do you want me to drive you over and drop you off?
Can you?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you need anything else before we go?
No, I've got my shoes and my necklace and
Do you want
I'm good.
Do you want one of my purses or something for your phone? Or I don't see any pockets in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, it's not built for pockets.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
And she goes and gets you a little Coach handbag that she has, very nicely made, that matches, and she will give that to you. You can just keep this.
It's kind of small.
Well, you don't want to carry a lot when you go to one of these things.
Okay. How do I look?
You look good. She goes, you're going to be fine. You're going to get through this, and you're going to feel better after everything is done. I'm sure nothing is going to happen. And they've got, of course, a nice car, tinted windows, with blue blockers there to help keep that out. And she will drive you to the school. And there are other parents dropping their kids off there. You will undoubtedly see Drake and Jesse both getting dropped off. And you all can kind of head on in to the gym. And Katerina, what is the smell that tells you there's another werewolf here?
It smells like heat and like gunmetal and like lavender or orchid, like some deeply sweet flower.
Yeah,
It's
it's a little bit of dog, just the kind of wet dog at the underside of that, and it's like nothing you've really smelled before. And
yeah, it's like a weird sense memory because I don't quite remember things that happen when I'm a wolf. It's like this strange, like other life, but
And
a tree or something.
And when you go in, you'll see there are definitely people staring at you.
I'm like pulling down like the hem of my dress a little further.
Okay. You'll see some of the sports kids are certainly giving you the eye as you come in. And you're by yourself. And you're kind of naked and exposed here.
I'm going to go get a drink.
Okay. Jesse and Drake. Jesse, when your dad actually, like, when it goes to drop you off, he like waits around a little bit, and you'll see Drake's mom pull up, but your dad is still there with the car running. What do you do, Jesse?
Yeah, I guess I'll walk over to the car and meet Drake.
And you'll hear the door open and your dad kind of get out of the car and come walking up behind you. Drake, Sheila gets out and she's like, "Oh, hello, Jesse. How are you?"
I'm fine. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name.
I'm Sheila.
Sheila. Oh, it's so good to see you again.
And you'll see this gentleman come up behind. Sort of looks like maybe an office kind of guy comes up behind Jesse. And Drake, he's like, "You must be Drake."
I kind of turn around and I kind of eye him up and down, and I put out my hand.
And he puts out his hand and he gives you that dad handshake, like he's going to kind of test it kind of thing.
Yeah. And I'll shake his hand and I'll say, "She'll be safe with me."
Well, good. That's a good thing to hear. Excellent. And he introduces himself to Sheila, and they have a little bit of a chat. And Sheila's like, can I get the two of you to kind of just here under the light so I can't, please?
And I don't think Drake really understands what she's asking for. He kind of turns around and looks behind him and
corsage.
Corsage. Oh, and he kind of reaches back inside the car and pulls out this corsage and, puts it around Jesse's wrist.
And I think when I see the corsage, I burst into laughter.
And Drake kind of looks back at Sheila, and then,
It's good. You two stand together.
Yeah, and I mean, we stand close, but we are not actually touching.
Okay. And definitely, your dad will also take a couple shots. Mike will take a couple shots as well. And we'll be like, "Okay, well, you kids have fun, but not too much fun."
Yeah, it's a school dance. I don't think we have to worry about having too much fun.
Okay. And they will separate and kind of leave you, Drake, and Jesse apart.
I think as we turn to walk in, I say, "Sorry about that."
That's okay. It's parents.
Yeah, I don't know. Sheila gets excited about the strangest things.
Like my parents. I mean, look what they got me wearing.
You notice that his shirt completely matches your dress. And not in a good way.
Oh, God. That's... Did my mom call your mom? Your foster mom, Sheila?
I don't know why.
That shirt, it's like I point back and forth. The shirt and the dress. It's like, This is exactly the kind of thing parents would do.
They totally did. That's those sneaks.
I have half a mind to go to my locker and get out my gym clothes and wear those instead.
That sounds like an idea. I like that idea.
Right. I mean, we'd have to change back before we went home.
But at least we'd be comfortable. Let's see how things go, and then of course if they go and we need to be more comfortable, then we can just change and everything will be okay, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely way too fancy.
And you will go into the gym, and they're starting things up, and kids are starting to arrive, and things like that, and you're and they're getting everything set up. And Jesse, you will see one of the people there with the parents and stuff who are chaperoning, but also with some of the school people. You will see this woman in clearly a superhero costume. It's done in dark reds, crimsons, that kind of thing. She has a mask on, and you definitely get, as you kind of just tangentially move past her, you'll definitely get that echo of that feeling that you got of someone seeing you pass through the wall earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to try not to react as I walk past her, but plan on checking her out later.
Absolutely. So you'll scoot past the Red Exorcist. And Winter, what's your big plan?
Well, so Eva and I did our best to try to, make a good entrance, but like I think that it probably didn't work out as well because we were late and because we're not wearing like matching clothes like Billy and I were supposed to be making. So all in all, it's a botched thing, and I'm just not very happy right now.
Absolutely. It kind of gets a little bit under your skin there.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that the heartless condition how does that get under your skin with this?
Basically, I think that whole thing about basically what Katarina said about, just using people and squashing them down. And like, I don't see myself that way. And so the thing that really bothers me is like, now I'm like, no, I build people up and I'm making them better and I bring out their best qualities, and I'm not heartless, am I? And like, now it's like making me doubt, like, am I going too far? Like, I'm just doing what my mother always did. Like, is that wrong?
Here's the thing too. I don't think you've been in a gathering of this many people in a long time, right?
Right. The commune was much, much tighter circles. So
Yeah. And now you're around with them and you're kind of hearing the echoes of their voices around with you here, just kind of starting to hover at the edge of your consciousness.
and they're all talking and none of them are listening to a single person, and they're all doing their own thing, and it's too chaotic.
Someone needs to bring them to order. That's what we're going to take up next time. If I can, I think that's a reasonable place for us to stop for tonight, with a werewolf scented, with the our what is the name of that playbook? Our heartless character for the moment here, our queen, a mysterious janitor, and the Red Exorcist on the table at the dance. Sound good?
Perfect.
I will give everybody an XP as well to push you one step closer if you haven't gotten enough fails quite yet. Sarah, what'd you take for your advance?
It's a serpentine move called the Big Reveal. When you reveal your true form to someone, they gain a string on you. If they accept you as you truly are, they mark experience. If they reject you, take one forward against them.
Delicious. Did anyone else get an advance?
I did. I took short rest for the wicked. When you die, wait it out. A few hours later, you wake up fully healed.
Okay, well then I'm going to have to kill you, aren't I? If you don't mind, can we take a bit to do roses and thorns real quick here, or stars and wishes? Actually, is what I'd like to do. Is everyone cool with that?
Sure.
So what I'd just like to do is a quick stars and wishes, meaning stars, things that you've enjoyed about the play, about the characters, things like that you've dug, and then wishes, things that, particularly in this case, things that you may want to definitely see for next session. So Stephen, let me start with you on stars.
Okay, well, definitely, like stars to all of the other players, because you're all nailing your characters, and yeah, stars for the Red Exorcist. That definitely puts my character in the crosshairs. So I think next session I'm hoping to see something with the Red Exorcist. I'm hoping to see some drama with Toby.
Excellent. Q?
So let's see, stars. I really loved the interaction between Katarina and Winter.
Yeah.
There by the fountain. That was so beautiful. I all of these characters really speak to me. They make a lot of sense. You know, I see the confusion and I guess guilt in Jesse, and Winter is so catty. It's just like, oh. And then, Katarina, I liked talking to you in the hallway and getting that whole, but of course it's okay if you're doing the right thing. That was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Yeah, those are good scenes. Yeah, nice contrast. Winter?
So my stars, of course, to the other players. I loved all of the different interactions y'all had when Jesse and Drake were like on their dates, or well, on the like parentally orchestrated date. That was just really, really great. I also very much enjoyed Katarina and Winter going at it at the fountain. That was fantastic. My special star though is actually to lol for Billy's character arc. Like, I've never seen like an NPC get a character arc before, and like that was pretty great. I was like, yeah, I loved that.
That was a great chance for a hard move there, and I love those moments. So it was really good, and I appreciate Sarah, you letting me go with that as the hard move. So Sarah, anything you want to say?
I really like the home scenes. They're so good at fleshing out who these characters are, and like at the same time, I really wish we had more character interaction. But then that means we would lose the home scenes. So more sessions overall, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. And you're happy with the werewolfiness on the table for you?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I fully intend to like take this necklace off at some point and just
let it out. Awesome. Anything else if anybody wants to highlight? If not, I'm going to stop the broadcast, and we will wrap this one up next week. I want to say I'm seriously enjoying this. This is the first time I run Monsterhearts, and I'm enjoying it immensely. I love these characters, and I'm really digging it. So I'm going to stop the broadcast.